As second COVID wave of the pandemic battered India, Nirit Datta, an environmentalist and social worker, worked on providing COVID leads. He, along with his partner, compiled 400 to 500 leads every day and helped innumerable people as the pandemic gripped the country. NewsX proudly recognizes second wave superhero Nirit Datta.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I am Fiza Jain. Today on the Second Wave Superheroes, we have with us Nirit Datta, who is an environmentalist and has been helping people during these COVID times to connect to various resources. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me over here.
Okay, it is our pleasure. So, my first question to you is, what really motivated you? What was the idea behind it?
So basically, this movement was started by one of our mentors. His name is Manish Pandey. And Manish sir basically was the main brain behind covidresource.in. So we were probably one of the highest manufacturer of verified leads across the web. We had our own website. We had our own Twitter page where we posted leads on an average of around 400 to 500 leads on a daily basis. So we never expected that we had to do this, but all of a sudden, it was around, I guess, the last week of April when we started seeing a lot of influencers, retweeting a lot of, tweets which were based on SOS for help. So we figured out when people are coming out to help, why can't we as common humans, right? And then we slowly it took us generally around 5-6 days of time to understand the situation in the country, because to be very honest, we never expected that the country would be seeing such a disastrous phase, whatever might be the reason. And hence then we decided that let's do something for the nation, and we started with a team of around 30 members, majorly people from corporate schools as well as colleges. And within 6 days we ended up being a 293 member team from various parts of the country, all coordinating through WhatsApp. And by the end of our journey, where we were actually verifying leads, calling a lot of resources and verifying all those leads, we ended up verifying around 5,800 leads in a span of 28 days. So it was basically divided. We had a specific 60-member calling team who actually called and verified all those leads. Then we had a 20-member team who actually mined data from the internet. And we had a specialized team who actually handled all the plasma cases. Now the plasma therapy has been removed, but in those times, plasma therapy was very much important. We had a specialized team who was handling plasma cases. We had another specialized team who were handling direct SOS calls on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They were directly handling all those SOS calls. So yeah, it was a properly managed team. And the most surprising part was more than 70% of the members in the team were from school children. And that is what motivated us the most, and that is what kept us going. And one thing by the end of the journey, one thing that I can say is these youngsters who were part of the team are going to be the leaders of tomorrow for sure.
Well, so how is it working with the school students and the young people of the country?
The most important ingredient of carrying out this entire process was leadership and proper human resource management. And whenever I build a community, I've even built a lot of communities in the past when it came to my wildlife and environmental projects, I've always focused on not only showcasing my leadership qualities, but also making sure that people who are working with me, they also get to learn from me and my team members. So when we were working with school children, we were nothing short of an online disaster management team, right? See, every call we used to dial, either used to save the time of a patient or used to save the life of a patient. Because for example, if somebody wanted an oxygen bed, after calling 10 numbers, they used to get around, 1 or 2 quality leads who actually had the resources. So either we were saving life of a patient or the time of a patient. So these young kids of schools, the way they grew up with time, with every passing day, the way they started taking responsibilities was something that really took me by surprise. And in the first, after we completed the first 20 days of the journey, now calling leads, calling for 2 hours, 3 hours every day is a very taxing job, right? And people, there were a lot of professional callers who were keeping their corporate job aside and doing this, right? So on the 20th day, we actually had to lay off each and every calling we had to lay off each and every member of the calling team, right? Because they were calling straight for 20 days. So now next what happened was we received another team. We received another team of around 120 members. Now this time what I did was I completely cut myself off from the entire operation. Now, to all these young school and college students whose average age was somewhere between 16 to 20, I gave them different sorts of responsibilities and I made them lead the group, right? And they did it fantastically.
Okay, so if you don't mind telling me, how has the journey been till yet? Like for you, for your team members, as you've been talking about, that you've been renewing your team. There have been a lot of people on social media connected with you. How has it been?
Honest, if I talk about the entire journey, there were a lot of things that I learned when it comes to leadership, when it comes to man management, and when it comes to handle any situation, right? Now just imagine you're sleeping at your home at night, and 2 a.m. in the morning there is an SOS call that somebody needs an ICU bed on an emergency basis. Now how you wake up from your sleep and make sure that they are getting the resources is something that is very crucial and very critical, right? And not everyone has those skill sets in order to to handle such situation, right? So to be very honest, through the entire journey, I, and not only me, each and every member who were working as a part of the team, they learned a lot of things that I think we might not have ever learned in the past. So it was really an journey full of learning, full of ups and full of downs, full of tense situations. There were a lot of point of time when we had to take some crucial decisions, right? For example, you have two cases. One is to help someone with plasma, and second is to help someone with ICU bed. Now, if I want to help someone with plasma, it's generally going to take 5 to 8 hours or maybe 1 or 2 days. Now, if I have to someone with ICU bed, it might take around 1 hour or 2 hours. So here we have to take that mental decision. It's a very taxing thing. We have to take that mental decision that should we help the patient who needs the plasma, or should we help a patient who needs the ICU bed? So in all this situation, I believe that each and every team member learned a lot of critical things about life, gained a lot of skills.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir, for giving me your valuable time and discussing the great things that you've done for India, and indeed the people like you who help India as a country and have come together and helped India fight such a big pandemic.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.